If you're in your 20s and you're thinking there's no way to grow other than taking HRT or using PDs, there is. Before taking PDs, if you ever do take PDs, optimize everything first. Coach Greg and Merijn has decided to quit taking HRT. Says it was a huge mistake. He shouldn't have done it in the first place. He was been training for 10 years and stopped getting the progress that he wanted.
I made a mistake going on TRT, testosterone replacement therapy.
Basically, he got bored of it. It wasn't as fun. He stopped making gains. He was pretty much at his genetic limit or close to it. And so he decided to jump on HRT to get more gains.
Really living in a fitness industry bubble. And then there's a lot of reasons at the same time why I decided to do it. And a lot of it is certain outside pressures or like me never feeling good enough.
And what people don't understand is when you're in the fitness world, you're in this bubble, a bubble of you see all your friends growing, putting on muscle, and it feels like that's the only thing that's important. Merijn was natural and had an amazing physique, but it wasn't enough. It's never going to be enough. I keep telling people, imagine your dream physique, and even if you get it, it's not going to be your dream physique anymore. You're always going to want more. You're always going to want better. So he hops on HRT, even though his testosterone levels were considered normal. They were in the normal range. So he never needed it. It's not like he had crashed testosterone levels, but he wanted it. And did he put on muscle with it? Of course he did. Made him feel better, had more energy, everything was great. But he did it for the wrong reasons. He didn't need HRT, he wanted HRT at 26, and it's a lifetime commitment. So he's going off HRT, and in fact, he's been off for a month, and he's saying it's already difficult.
But I truly thought the decision was right back then, and I don't think so now anymore. You know, I'm 26 years old. I don't want to be dependent on a substance for the rest of my life. I want to try and raise my levels naturally.
He's taking supplements to get his testosterone levels back to normal, but it can take a long time. And trust me, after 4 weeks, you still feel pretty freaking good. Wait till he goes 6, 8, 10, 12, and more weeks. I went off HRT this year, literally, probably 9 months ago, for 9 weeks. I was on HRT, need it, doctor prescribed, abused steroids in the past, y'all know my story. I was off for 9 weeks. He's at 4 weeks, and he already notices decreased energy levels, not feeling as good, and so on. And sometimes when you take HRT, it can enhance your mood and feel better. Maybe you're depressed. But just because you're taking HRT, it doesn't solve life's problems. If you have underlying issues, you need to see a therapist, you need to get counseling, see a doctor, all these things. You can't just take a drug to fix the problem. It's a quick fix, but it's not going to solve the underlying problems. So if you become obsessed, you have to look better, feel better, always better, more, it's never going to be enough. Lucky for him, it was only HRT. It's a lot easier to bounce back from taking HRT, lower doses, doctor prescribed, than if you abuse steroids. It's not like he's on massive cycles. They'll crush your testosterone levels and it can be hard to bounce back. At 26 years of age, even though he'd been training for 10 years, he had not actually hit his genetic limit. Just because you've been training for 10 years doesn't mean you're at your genetic limit. You're not even close. For example, just this morning, someone wrote in and said, hey, I've been back to the gym for about 3 months. I put on 5 pounds of muscle, but it's been 9 months and I haven't put on any more muscle. Am I at my limit? Imagine in 3 months, 9 months training from after a layoff, they assume they're at their limit already. No, of course not. There's other things you can do. And Merijn said, why didn't I try to maximize those first? You're not going to see massive gains forever. And training, it's more fun when you're growing. Why do you think people do bulks and cuts all the time? Because they're not happy with their level of progress. They're seeing, wow, I only put on a pound of muscle in the last 4 months. It's not enough. So they bulk up, they force feed, they eat a lot, tricking their bodies into thinking they're putting on all this muscle. Then they cut and they realize, it didn't work. If you're in your 20s and you're thinking there's no way to grow other than taking HRT or using PDs, there is. Before taking PDs, if you ever do take PDs, optimize everything first. Are you sleeping right? Are you training optimally? Are you eating properly? Are you taking creatine, beta-alanine, pre-workout, sleeping, whatever it is that you need to take to optimize training naturally? You could try terkesterone. If you've never heard of testosterone, it's a natural supplement that can help some people put on muscle. I'm currently using it myself, even though I'm on HRT, and it is in fact working for me. I've read a number of people writing and saying it's working, it's amazing, they're gaining significant amounts of muscle naturally. You get your blood work done, and it doesn't seem to show any negative results as of yet that I've seen. Doesn't shut down your natural production of testosterone. HRT, it does. If you take HRT, which I'm on, your body stops producing testosterone. Testosterone, it doesn't do what other steroids do. It doesn't lower your own production of testosterone, which is the last thing you want. Because if your body doesn't produce testosterone, you're going to feel like shit when you stop taking it. With testosterone, you can take it, and when you stop, you're not going to feel like shit after. That's the main problem with testosterone or any steroid. You take it, you feel good while you're on it, you get off of it, and you feel like garbage. Your body is suppressed. Testosterone not being produced. That's what Merijn is experiencing right now. It's been 4 weeks. Half-life of testosterone, let's say it's about 5 days, maybe even longer. There is no way it's crashed yet. 4 weeks after your last shot, there is still testosterone trickling around. It's not completely gone. It's going to get worse.
Energy levels, that's what I noticed mostly. They've just dropped so much. I'm not able to be energized all day.
I've done steroid cycles in the past, and after about 6 weeks, that's when I really start to notice I'm not feeling like myself again. Lower energy, lower mood, decreased recovery, and he's already experienced this. He goes to the gym and he can't recover as much. He's saying he's feeling sore. He has all the signs of low testosterone. Before he took HRT, he thought he wasn't feeling the best. He's on the lower end of testosterone. You can be in the lower end of testosterone and still feel great and still feel amazing. And just because your results aren't as much as you wished, probably still good. Problem is we're comparing ourselves to other people. Merijn is in the fitness world, probably looking at other YouTubers who look ridiculously amazing. Professional bodybuilders, Instagram models, people on YouTube, Instagram, social media, the majority of the people that we're looking at are far superior, way above average. Merijn's physique already way above the average person. Most people dream to look like Merijn natural, but he wasn't happy with that because you get caught up in what's going on the internet. You see other people making gains and progress and you want to be that person. Enough is never enough. You could win the Mr. Olympia and still want to get bigger, get more shredded, to improve. You're never going to be satisfied. That's why I keep saying enjoy the journey and not just the destination. You need to love doing what you're doing. Merijn says, I love training. I love the gains. I love making progress. And then when that stopped, it didn't feel as fun. That's why I keep telling people don't take steroids, because what happens is, I talked about this in one video about dopamine. You see such a huge change. Wow, I put on 15 pounds of muscle in 3 months. It's so life-changing. You're like, wow. Problem is you can't keep doing that. Can't. You gain 15 pounds in your first cycle, the next cycle you gain 5, and then you gain 3, and then you don't gain any. I couldn't gain any more. I was a IFBB pro bodybuilder, couldn't gain any more muscles as much as I can gain. Thing is, if you are stuck and you're natural and you take HRT, you're going to get those gains. You absolutely are. I'm not here to say that HRT doesn't work, but guess what? Those gains are going to level off again. You're going to again plateau, even with HRT. You're natural, you train 10 years, you put on, say it's 30 pounds of muscle, you can't gain any more. Maybe add a couple more, but even if you didn't, you take HRT and you gain 10 more pounds of muscle. Then you're going to plateau again. Then what are you going to do? You can't take HRT at higher doses forever. There's going to be a point in time when you just can't get bigger. You have to accept it. And then what do? Well, hopefully you don't just like lifting weights because of the results. I've been training with weights for 36 years. Merijn's been training a long time, 10 years. I'm in 36 years deep. And I've done all the things, I've done the mistakes, I've done it natural, went on steroids, went on HRT, and I'm not going off now. For me, it's for life. HRT, for Merijn at 26, he didn't want to have a lifetime commitment. For me, 46, 20 years older than him, I am ready for the lifetime commitment. If I went off HRT, I would have to feel like garbage for probably a year, maybe 2. Talking about, it's probably going to be 3 months, maybe even 6 to feel back to normal. 6 could be the smallest amount of time that it would take for me to get back to normal. I probably never would. So if you do use steroids, be careful. Rather than just focusing on the size game or the aesthetics when you go to the gym, there's more to love than just the changes in your physique. There's something called your health. When you go to the gym and lift weights, it's not just about having bigger testicles, bigger delts, and a smaller waist. It's also about being fit, healthy, being able to carry up the groceries to your room when you're 70. The more muscle you have growing up, the more you're going to have when you're older. And not many of you realize this, but I enjoy bike riding more than I do lifting weights. I ride my bike just as much as I lift weights. I'm on a resort in Mexico. I've ridden my bike 3 times and I've gone to the gym 1 time. So which do you think I like more? Which do you think is healthier for me? And so I'm at the point, I'm 46, I'm not gonna just keep getting bigger. And I am on testosterone and I am on HRT and my goal is to get bigger, but that's not the only goal I have. I enjoy the pump. I like going to the gym and relieving stress mentally. I feel better after a good workout, both while I'm there and after, and waking up in the morning and thinking, I get to go to the gym today. Why are you training? You're on vacation. When you're on vacation, isn't that the time to do the things you want more often, more of it? So if I'm on vacation and I love to bike ride and to lift weights, why wouldn't I go do those 2 things? So I'm on vacation, the gym sucks, the bike pass, not bad, so why not do what I like more? I'm still gonna go to the gym multiple times. I'm gonna go to the gym 4 times out of 7 and try to bike ride as often as I can because I love it. And I love the feeling I get when I go and do that. So Merijn, he liked the weights, but I think more so, what is it doing to me? The look at the end. So rather than focusing on that look at the end, what is weightlifting doing for you mentally and physically while you're there? Physically, you're lifting weights, it's making you healthier. You're quite literally improving your metabolism. You're building more muscle. You're keeping the muscle that you have, which burns calories. Muscle is more metabolically active than fat. Also, heart rate's going up. It's good for the heart. You're burning off calories. Your heart is getting stronger. Your muscles are getting stronger. And mentally, you're burning off some stress. You're feeling better. But if you're sick of that, try challenging yourself with something else. Once you start lifting weights, it doesn't have to be the only thing you enjoy for the rest of your life. You started lifting weights at 16, you're 26 years of age. There's other things that you can do that are fun. You could literally do CrossFit. Even though everyone makes fun of it, maybe you could try it. That might be a new challenge. You could do powerlifting. Rather than focusing on just getting the most aesthetic physique, why not now? Let's focus on getting the most strong physique. Let's see how much we can get our bench press up. Let's try to break the Guinness Book of World Records for sumo deadlifts in a minute. Who would have thought of doing something like that? Trained for 6 months straight to do this. Made it a new and fun challenge. And it doesn't have to just be with weights. Find something else that's fun that you can do for the rest of your life. Maybe it's not just lifting weights. Maybe it's not just powerlifting or strongman. Maybe it's something else. Maybe it's bike racing and sprinting. You can train with the weights, get your legs powerful so that when you're on the bike sprinting, you can go faster than other people. Make it fun. Make the challenge the reward. The challenge is the reward. You're training to try to better yourself and be better. And if you're an athlete and you like competing, why not give bike racing a try or any sport, badminton, swimming? Do something that makes life fun. So for Merijn, TRT wasn't for him. He makes a mistake and he owns up to it and he's sharing this with other people because a lot of people are thinking, hey, I'm just going on that TRT. It's a meet. Why not? It's going to just build a bunch of muscle. But if you don't need it, it's not the answer. Yeah, if you go on HRT, it's going to build muscle, but you're going to tap out in another year, plateau, and then what? Your dose of 100 milligrams a week goes to 200, then 300, then 500. Then you're on test and trend. Then you're cycling for the rest of your life. And then maybe you die early of a heart attack. We don't know. And if you made it this far, I may as well mention I have a sponsor, Let's Get Checked. You can get your testosterone levels checked. If you do in fact have crashed testosterone levels and you medically need it, then perhaps HRT is for you. But if you have normal testosterone levels and you just want to put on muscle by taking HRT and you're in your 20s, I don't think that's a smart thing to do. At least try to optimize things with natural supplements first. Do some research. Is caffeine going to help me? is beta alanine, the the itchy butthole stuff. Doesn't do that for me. You get a little tingles here. Does that work? Works for me. Certainly the research is very clear that it does in fact work. Studies have shown this. So maybe that is something you could optimize, especially if you're doing more like cardio the way I do, or higher rep sets of a minute or more. You're doing those things, certainly going to improve. Probably up to 3% improvements. Think of how much that is. 3%, you think, well, that's nothing. 3% when you're in the Olympics is first place to not being on the podium. Creatine. Everyone knows creatine can work. That's been proven for 20 plus years. And what about testosterone? A lot of people have been claiming it's putting on tons of muscle. Some studies saying it's as strong as D-ball and DECA, which to me is complete bullshit. It's not that strong. But anything, even if it's only a couple percentage points better, why not try that first? Don't just jump on testosterone or HRT or steroids or PDs. Optimize everything first. Ending it here. GregDoucette.com for coaching. Greg Doucette IP Pro. Please watch one of the bloops. Don't forget cookbooks. I also have training books, coaching plans, me and my team. Subscribe, click the bell button, comment for the algorithm. And until next time, I'm out. I have to go to the beach.